Video number 142, measures of coterminal angles. It says find each angle measure using the least positive value. And for us to discuss a little bit about what a coterminal angle is, let's just do a little crash course here real quick. Let's say this was about 35 degrees, which it could quite possibly be because this is definitely less than half of the 90 as I drew it. So we would start here, and positive 35 would work this way, okay, because you're in quadrant 1, quadrant 2, here's 3, there's quadrant 4. So working our way around. Now, the positive direction goes 1, 2, 3, 4. The negative direction goes 4, 3, 2, 1. Makes sense, doesn't it? There you go. Now, the argument on coterminal angles is that this coterminal angle value here, this opening, is the same as if you went 360 plus 35. So this could be called 35 degrees, or 395 degrees, or you could add another 360 to this and keep on going. Or you could argue that this is a negative amount. This would be negative 325, I think. Okay? So what we would do here, to find the least positive, we need to find the location. What's the location for negative 89? Well, it's way down here. And it's in quadrant 4. So if we went 89 degrees this way, we would then try to figure out what it would be in the positive direction. So there's your 180, there's 270. Plus one more. So therefore this is equal to 271 degrees. And that's it. That's how we figure out this coterminal angle value. Negatives are usually pretty easy. Alright. Find each angle measure using the least positive value. Oh, by the way, you also could have just simply taken 360 plus negative 89, and that would give you positive 271 as well. You can use 360. And what's cool about this is that, you see 360, alright, here, let's do a little discussion here on this real quick. Let's take a look at just overall philosophy on trigonometry and coterminal angles. We could argue that this position here is 360, but it's also what? 0. So as it turns out, zeros and multiples of 360 equal 0. So every time you go 360, that's 0 degrees. So we need to keep that in mind as we move forward in this video. Alright? 1,000. 1,000. Okay? So what we'll do is, we're going to go in the positive direction. 360. 720. Okay? And then, if we went again, it would be 1080. Now, we can stop there because we don't want to go all the way to 1080. So if we go 360, 720, and then 1080, we want to go what? 80 less. So we want to call this 80. We want to land here. So this is the position of 1,000. This is the position of 1080. So if we go 80 less, that's going to be 1,000. Well, what's the least positive value? Well, it's 270 plus 10 more. So therefore, 280 degrees. Alright, so that's how that would work. If we were to work this out mathematically, what you could do is you can change the 1,000, because you can do this numerically. 1,000 could equal, we could call it 1080 plus negative 80. Then 1080 is quote-unquote 0, so then it's 0 plus negative 80, which is just simply negative 80. So then you're asking yourself, what's the measure of negative 80? Positive 280, because you just add 360 to it. Or in other words, when you're adding 360, you're adding 0, and that's why it works. It's a beautiful thing. Next one, negative 8,440. Well, in this case, it's a good idea, guys, to know a lot of your multiples of 360 so you know where to land and where to stop. And as it turns out, 360, 720, 1080, yada, 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 1440, all those. What you're going to do here is you just need to know your multiples of 360. And what you can do is you can then see that 9,000, as it turns out, divides by 360. And I believe it does it, let's see here, is it 5 times? 25 times. No, yeah, 25. I was doing a different one. So yeah, so 25 times. So in other words, this position of 0 is 9,000 degrees. Well, that's beautiful, because now we can rewrite this as what? 9,000. Alright, negative 9,000 plus 560. Do you agree with this? right? Well, if 9,000 is 0, negative 9,000 is also 0. So you can write this as just simply 560. Isn't that a lot easier? Of course it is. So 560 takes us where? 360. 360, 540. 540 would be here, right? So if you go 360 plus 180, 540. Okay, so here you are at 540. We need to go 20 degrees more, so we're going to call this a 20 here. And this is the angle we're looking at. This one. Okay, well, how much is that? It's 180 plus 20. It's what? 200 degrees. So we just figured out that negative 8440 is 200 degrees. And that is the lowest possible angle value. And it's an equivalent, I guess you can call it a coterminal value, because we're talking about coterminal angles. Coterminal means they share the same position. Coterminal, same position. Like co-worker, same place of employment. Coterminal, same angle position. All right. Good times, guys. Talk to you later.